Hi everybody. I don't know about you, but I am enjoying these beautiful days. Just looking at the landscape filled with color. And so some of that color is going to come inside with us on Sunday morning as we feast on one another and this community that God is shaping among us. So I look forward to seeing you on Sunday morning. Two of my favorite stories we're going to be looking at, they both involve people who are suffering from a skin disease. But what I mostly like is that we meet Jesus and he's kind of moving and traveling in the borderlands. In other words, we don't really know where Jesus is, and yet we have this group of people who are outside the norm, lepers it says in scripture, and they cry out to Jesus and suddenly they are made well. And there are a ton of them, and of course one comes back and says thank you. And it's just a wonderful story of healing, of Jesus' presence in places we don't always know where Jesus is, but he's there. Jesus heals people, and we're not quite sure of who they are. They're certainly outside on the margins, and yet Jesus is there with them. And to imagine that great cleansing and healing. And we also have that in this wealthy army guy in 2 Kings, Naaman, and he too is suffering, and this young girl tells him where he can be healed, and he meets Elisha. And suddenly he dips into the water. He thinks it's too easy for him, and yet he is made clean. And so just to think about us in this time, October and November, when we are really recognizing how thankful we are for the generosity of this God that continues to heal us. And so in this time of stewardship, of giving boldly and thinking about a stewardship of love, how great it is that we can be able to come back and say thank you. Lots of things happening on Sunday morning. So we have worship at 8:30, we have worship at 10:45, but in between, we've got the youth rolls that will be baking in the oven and just waiting for you to feast on them. We also have communion instruction. And so young people, whatever your age, come on, and in that time in between, Pastor Jeremiah is going to talk about what communion is all about. There'll be a couple of offerings also. Take those rolls and you can go back. I think it's the last time we're going to learn about Luther, at least at this series. But also, we've got people who are talking about the nuts and bolts of giving, everything you ever wanted to know about giving and practices here at Calvary. So it's again a full morning, and I trust that the leaves will stay on. You'll be able to feast on those colors and then be able to experience God's grace here. See you Sunday.